Hello again, sweet, beloved, cosmic, soul, star family, and welcome back. This session is going to be a bit different than any other I have done so far because we're about to roll out the red carpet for another beautiful deck. This is not tarot. But before the drum roll, we're going to say a quick prayer. Dear source of all that is, was, and will ever be, I thank you today and each and every day for all that you do and all that you do through me. I call upon you at this time for protection, guidance, as well as assistance in clear, concise communication. If at all I am led to give an intuitively guided message. Otherwise, just keep myself, the viewers, the collective, our loved ones, and as far as the divine eye can see, protected. And clear away any and all negative voltage at this time to create space for grace. Please surround us in your light of protection throughout our day. Be at our side and guide our words and actions to come from a place of love. Please clear our energy and vibration completely of negative thoughts and beliefs. Help us to fully and completely experience love, light, and joy that is present in every moment and guide our path for the highest and greatest good. So it is, so it is, so it is. Alright, I don't actually have a red carpet, so just latch on to that useful imagination for a moment and join me in for a drum roll. And in comes Manifestie. We have a new deck from Rebecca Campbell, and I have been eyeballing this deck for quite some time now and kept making excuses in my mind why it wasn't a very practical purchase for me at this time. So, Source, great I am, the great and grand architect of all that is, was, and will ever be, decided that any other avenue is just as good, and lo and behold, look what we have. We manifested the Rose Oracle. I was just saying, like sometime last week, maybe even more recent, that this deck, I was really drawn to it. And it goes well with my Starseed deck and my Work Your Light deck by the same author. So, here we are. Grab some refreshments. I have mine. A little celebratory cranberry juice. I put it in a wine glass just to kind of make it a little more festive. But I promise you, this is cranberry juice. It's a virgin beverage, and I brought it in because of the color. The glass is rose colored, and the beverage is rose colored. So befitting. Salute to a new journey with the Rose Oracle. Here we go. For the reveal, let's go in. Some of you may already, whenever you tune in, you may already have this deck. So that's great for you and awesome, but this is new to me. So here we are with the Rose Oracle reveal. It's a bit too soon for a review. There is, with all of these decks, there is like an attunement card that it comes with, which is the 44th card. And so if you get this deck and you count your cards and you're like, oh, I only count 43, that's because the attunement card is number 44. So this is a 44 card deck. And I want to read the attunement so that you have a better understanding of the usefulness of this deck. It states, Mother Rose, you were present long before we, and you will continue after we're gone. Bless this oracle and all who use it. May it be a gateway for all to return to ourselves, the earth, and each other. May our connection with the voice of our soul be made stronger with every use. May all who touch it feel cherished, held, loved, softened, and seen. May it deliver insight, understanding, compassion, and guidance that's in the highest interest of all beings, past, present, and future. When I'm holding space for another, help me to step out of the way and invite others to connect with the wisdom that exists deep within them. Guide me and all who use it to embrace our ever-changing true nature and the seasons of our lives with compassion, understanding, and grace. Show us how we can plant ourselves here more deeply than ever before. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, and so, of course, because I'm not familiar with this deck yet, we will be utilizing the guidebook until I'm more familiar. And on occasion, just like with my other decks, when I feel led to go into the guidebook, I will do so. And other people's opinion on that is a them problem. So here we are. This is the cover for each card. This beautiful rose design. As you can see, I have an affinity for roses and lilies, actually. I have a few favorite flowers. Sunflowers, orchids, lilies, hyacinth, and roses. So yes, here we are with the Rose Oracle. I'm going to, instead of going through every single card in one sitting, I'm going to just shuffle and call upon the cards, and we'll just take it baby steps and really get into the energy of this deck. So here we go into the Rose Oracle. Random messages for the collective from the Rose Oracle. And out first we have Rapture. Let's move it a little bit closer so you can actually see the image. The next time I will be likely recording from a different angle. So yeah, interestingly enough, the very first card to come out for us from this deck is Rapture. Sensuality, love, devotion, romance, ecstasy, and pleasure. Before I go into the guidebook, we're going to take a closer look at this image. Interestingly enough, the rose also looks like a lotus. And throughout my mentorship, I've always been taught that to a certain degree, when using it as like a metaphor, the rose, the ever unfolding rose and the lotus are telling the same story. So, this is also to say that both the rose and the lotus are harbingers of devotion when they are exchanged or when they are grown, included in the landscaping, so on and so forth. They represent devotion. Devotion to the spiritual realms. But also in the physical and the material realms as another form of currency exchange to signify a loving connection. As far as intuitively, just like I am with this card, with this particular deck, rather, I'm seeing the water drops, and what came to my mind is that we are just getting our feet wet. That's to say, similarly to, this is just the tip of the iceberg. Like, we're just getting our feet wet. Like, there's so much more to see, so much more to experience on our journeys. And to just set our intent to be devoted to our soul's journey, as each and every one of us are an ever unfolding rose. I'm currently dog sitting, so you can hear Buster pacing around in the background because he just let himself in. He's like, oh, never mind your privacy in your studio. I'm just going to let myself in. Hey, how you doing? Hi. Don't mind me as I sniff your feet. Hi, Buster. Hi, buddy. Are you saying hi to everybody? No, you are not a lap dog. I keep telling you, you are not a lap dog. You can't get in my lap. You're too big, buddy. Yes, you are. Oh, you're too big. You have to get down or you're going to start knocking things around with that big head. Yes, you will. Yes, you will. Don't you want to hear the rest of the message? Oh, goodness gracious. Oh, that's some stinky doggy breath. Okay, you got to get down. 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 No, I mean, I'm serious, buddy. You have to get down. Stop trying to dominate me. Get down. That's enough. Heel. Good boy. All right. So, just like any toddler is still learning to listen. Come on, buddy. You have to get down. Down. Okay, I can already tell this is going to be a long one. Because he's going to want to wrestle, and now he's instigating Bella. Okay, give me just a moment. We are going to dismiss this fella before he wreaks entirely too much havoc. Out you go. All right. Here we go. Back to the Rose Oracle. I'm going to go into the guidebook now and look up this card. Rapture. Oh, it says, to my grandmother, Margaret Watt, who introduced me to the flowers and always had her hands in the earth, and all who are searching for and healing their roots. So I can tell this deck is going to be extremely useful. Page 102 is the Rapture. So here we go. Let's read about it. Flora is... Oops. And now I'm knocking things over. Okay. Flora is the ancient Roman goddess of spring and flowers. In one myth, she was struck by Cupid's arrow. And, overwhelmed by love and completely breathless in a moment of rapture, she called for Eros. However, the sound Rose came out of her mouth instead, so Rose became another word for Eros, and it also became the symbol for love, beauty, and passion. There is another story about Flora that we will read in just a moment. But with this particular card, it states, many patriarchal religions have placed a shameful cloak around sensuality, sex, pleasure, ecstasy, rapture, and sexuality. One of the most natural, pleasurable parts of life has become conditional and judged. The Rose wants us to heal from this and to remember that pleasure, sensuality, sexual preference, and expression of desire can be some of the most sacred, miraculous things about being a human on earth. This card comes with a message about receiving and giving love and pleasure. Flora wants you to know that your sensuality, your passion, and your sexuality, no matter how you identify, are sacred and holy. She wants you to connect with your sensual true nature and to celebrate this in all people. Now, I have boundaries when it comes to this topic. And so, yeah. All I can say about that is don't just go giving it up to just anybody. The Rose transmission. My sensuality is sacred and holy. Other people's sensuality is sacred and holy. I open myself up to express and receive love in a way that feels safe and good to me. I release painful programming and experiences and return to love. Interesting. And then there is a second message about Flora on page 18. Somewhere. In one Rome story, Flora, the goddess of spring and flowers, discovered the body of a beautiful nymph in the forest. Grief-stricken, she prayed for it to be transformed into the most beautiful flower ever known. The three Graces and Venus then turned the nymph's body into a rose, and from that day on the rose became known as the queen of all flowers. In another Roman myth, the goddess Cybele, or Magna Mater, Great Mother, is said to have created the rose because she was jealous of Venus and wanted something more beautiful to attract Adonai. Oh. Okay. Well, now, that was an interesting card to begin with. Not exactly where I was trying to go with this reveal. Like, yikes. I'm going to have to take a little sippy sip after that. Again, this is cranberry juice. Keeping it clean over here. So yeah, there we go. The Rapture. Let's go back in for some more. I'm going to incorporate this deck into my Starseed storytelling sessions. And of course, like every other deck, I sometimes feel inclined to just go freestyle with it and incorporate it with other decks for sessions not necessarily geared towards telling a Starseed story. So, yeah, there's that. Quite the mouthful. So, let's go back into the deck and see what comes out next. What other messages do we as the collective need to hear at this time, or would be of some benefit anyways? I can literally hear some pessimistic person in the background going, "Who are you to tell me what I need?" Hold on. That one fell to the floor, so. Let's make sure that I don't put my back out this time, and I didn't. All praise to the Most High, source of all it is, was, and will ever be, for not causing me sciatica issues this time. Yes, and out comes the wild rose. Do it your way. Embrace your uniqueness, untamed. Ooh. If you can go your own way. Beautiful image. Do it your way. Well, interestingly enough, in my last message with a completely different deck and the dice, we were discussing embracing our uniqueness. And then here it comes out in a brand new deck. New to me, anyways. And, yeah, it's guiding us to embrace our uniqueness. Do things our own way. And you're going to see this a lot more coming from this channel. Because this is not the only deck that's already been manifested. Whether it's still in the ethers or otherwise. So, not switching things up, just adding more. Bringing in more. Variety is the spice of life. So, yes, we're being guided or reminded to embrace our uniqueness and do things our own way. Let's see what the book has to say. Maybe. Oh, we can also use these boxes as like portable support or altars. $142. The Wild Rose. Do it your way. Embrace your uniqueness untamed. If somebody says that you're not normal, say thank you. If someone says what you're doing isn't normal, say naturally. The wild rose knows that no one rose is the same as another. She doesn't try to bloom in a neat row according to a schedule. She doesn't open and close according to who's walking by. She trusts her timing and she blooms with wild abandon. She's resilient. She knows who she is. The wild rose knows her true unique nature and she wants you to remember yours too. She knows that what makes you wild makes you free. That it's what's kept us contained that's causing us harm. That our diverse, unique nature is what's needed now, more than ever. This card comes with an invitation to do what would make you feel the most free. To trust in the very things that make you stand out. To realize that you were never meant to fit in. You were never meant to grow in a perfect, cultivated way. You were never meant to bloom in unison with someone else. You were never meant to be captive or controlled. Nature is full of diversity. It's imperative to its survival. And it is to ours too. So be who you came here to be. Express what you came here to express. Sing the song that you came here to sing. Together, the wild ones will be the ones who set us all free. And the transmission for this card is, I free myself of what keeps me captive. I allow the unique wildness within me to be free. Interestingly enough, I grow peonies every year and they are a wild rose. So they even look, when they're in full bloom, just like the peonies in this image. So yes, that connection with the rose is real. One more card and we are going to close this video. And there's going to be other parts to this reveal. So be looking out for no less than 2 videos. So that I can reveal more of these cards today. One more shuffle. Here we go. Back into the Rose Oracle. Oh, whoa. I'm just going to take the one from the bottom. All right, the breathing rose. Heart healing, emotions, connection, and time eases. Hold on. Sadly, I have to do this. So, yeah, the breathing rose. Right off the jump, intuitively, I'm getting trust, divine timing. But let's see what the breathing rose has to say from the book. 62. The inquiry is, how can you treat yourself with gentle compassion and softness? How can you trust the timing of your healing? Often healing is a slow, steady process. It's complex, not linear. There we go. It takes as long as it takes. And most of the time, that's much longer than we'd wish. But like all things in nature, there's a mysterious intelligence to it. And if we trust it and let the vibrant petals fall to the earth, cut back what's no longer, and protect the new shoots and buds from being pried open, we may find ourselves in a second bloom, and fruit will follow. You can't manufacture that. We must trust the great mystery in the process. The bud somehow manages to burst through the constraints by opening to life. All of nature has this intelligence within it. The challenge when we're going through a time of healing, which is another word for growth, transformation, and change, is not to close ourselves off from the world when we most want to separate and shut down. To somehow find the courage to open through the agony, the difficulty, the hurt, and when we feel safe enough to let life soften us, not harden us, to deepen and cradle us. This is a card of deep heart healing. It will often come to us as a symbol of emotional healing that's in the process of happening. The mending's underway. Treat yourself and your healing with compassion, understanding, and gentleness. This is a card of deep encouragement that you're doing it. Time will ease everything soon. And then back to the inquiry one last time. How can you treat yourself with gentle compassion and softness? And how can you trust the timing of your healing? So, thank you so very much for tuning in. Part 2 is going to be recorded as this one is uploading. So look forward to that coming out sometime today. Alright, so there we have it with the Rapture, the Wild Rose, and the Breathing Rose from the Rose Oracle. More from this deck coming up next. Thank you so very much for tuning in. If you made it this far, you are a rock star. Happy Friday. and brightest blessings.